Hello chums, this is just a short video to pick up on a couple of technical points that were raised in the class. This isn't required viewing, it's just that some of you kind of like some of the technical details and wanted a bit more information. And the point that you were interested in is in our discussion of the disparate, geographically dispersed digital workplace, we touched upon the fact that one of the things that organisations and governments are interested in is high-speed broadband, and I happened to mention that I have gigabyte internet, so 1000 megabytes down, 100 up. And a few of you were interested, what practical difference does it actually make when you have those kind of speeds available at home? It's a good question. If you're interested in those sorts of things I'm about to explain, if you're not, go and have a cup of tea. And that transformation of the workflow isn't actually so much to do with the down speed, which is 1000 meg, it's to do with the up speed. On the screen, you can see Adobe Premiere Rush. So all of the lectures that I record and edit, I use Adobe Premiere Rush to put the title sequence on, the theme music, the ident slides that come on with my name. When I generate a video, if it's a full-length lecture, generally speaking, that is about 4 gigabytes in size. So 4 gig. Previously, before I got really fast internet, I had to build into my workflow the idea that once the video had rendered and it was 4 gig, I had to upload it. Now, because my internet is 100 meg up, I don't even think about it. It makes absolutely no difference to my workflow. So if I record a 4 gig video, it uploads in seconds, in minutes. But the other important aspect of having that really fast connection and why it makes a difference to my productivity at home and the wider application to the digital workplace is that I work here, my wife works here, she's an academic as well. So between the two of us, between all of the Zoom and Teams calls we have, recording lecture content, downloading things, uploading things, we actually use a lot of data a month. And previously, when we were on a kind of normal connection, you had to think about things like, could we both take a video call at the same time? If I started to upload a 4 gigabyte video file, what difference would that make? Would that slow down her video upload, and so on and so on and so on? So it became slightly contested in the house and you had to think carefully about how you did things. That no longer exists. It's irrelevant. And that's really the massive difference that it makes, that lots of things you kind of had to think about and plan around just don't exist. And for me, files that are stored on the cloud, in the cloud and in other places, to me, they're just like local files. It makes absolutely no difference. I just don't think about it. And to give you a practical example of this, if I set up a new machine and I install OneDrive on it and I'm waiting for it to download 60, 70, 80, 90 gigs worth of files that I've got, it's done in minutes, just happens. And so that element of my workflow has just completely disappeared. And so it just changes the nature, not only of the speed at which I can do things, but also my consideration of the possible. So if I go back to this idea of 4 gig files for lectures, previously, if I was recording something, I'd have to think, okay, what's the quality, the minimum quality that's acceptable, maybe 720p, maybe 480p, that I'm going to upload in to create a minimum file size that I could upload within a reasonable time frame. I no longer have that consideration. I upload in the maximum possible quality that I'm capable of and the service that the university uses is capable of, and I let it on the server side decide what quality the user is going to get, because it will automatically adjust to the user's bandwidth. So overall, going back to this idea of the digital workplace, on the face of it, you might think, well, super fast, ultra fast broadband, does it really make much of a practical difference? It does. It completely changes your workflow, because things that you had to worry about and plan for and consider no longer exist. And if you're in a house where there are multiple people working at home, some of the kind of contested or arrangements you had to make to get around bandwidth considerations, they just don't exist, they're gone. So for those of you who are interested in that technical detail, that's why ultra-fast broadband does transform workflow. Have a great week.